Greetings everyone and welcome to round 8 of the Liga Virtual Indycar Championship. This time we are coming to you from my favorite racetrack in the world, Road America. Absolutely love it here. Though I have to say this isn't my favorite way of experiencing the track, as it has been raining all day and these drivers have a lot cut out for them as the pace car goes into the pits and we are underway with the green flag. As we mentioned earlier, it's a very wet one out there today, but race control is letting us know that it is starting to dry up, so tire selection will be critical out there right now. Looking at my notes, it looks like Thijsman actually went out there on soft, so we should see some pretty insane performance from him as compared to the drivers who might just be out there on wet tires. Some of you astute viewers out there might have noticed that in the last video I said we'll see you next season. That's because I got confused and conflated with some of the other series that I'm a member of and a part of, and I thought that last race was going to be the last race of the season for IndyCar, but no, it is not, and we are in the wall already. Looks like Marit got into the back of Lenz there. Marit in the number 14 car, Lenz in the number 30, and that sent Lenz way down the pecking order there. And was that Olsen in the number 6 car off to the side there? I am not sure. Either way, the yellow flag is out and we are slowing down. Let's cut forward a bit to where the action is taking place. Still on lap number 1. Let's hope these drivers can keep it together for at least a few more so we can, get some laps turned out here. Maybe find our way to a nice, nope, I spoke too soon. Phoenix in the number 2 car is off the track with Norwat in the number 28 car making it by safe and sound. Each of the drivers in turn doing a great job at making it past that incident. We follow along with some wheel-to-wheel racing between Mangelik and Phoenix as he gets back on track, and we see as we cut to, looks like Goran in a number 3 car is off around backwards and into the wall. Let's get a safe rejoin there. We ride along with Thijsman in the number 7 car as they go to make a good pass on Mansarov in the number 5. I like when things like that play out. It's just smooth as butter transitions past the driver. And what that should mean later on in the race is that Mansarov is going to be seeking blood, looking to pass Thijsman whenever they get a chance. Sections of the track still looking quite wet. The rain not quite letting up as drivers have to contend with not only each other, but Mother Nature as well. We follow Danny as he trails Fano into the corner. Cutting back to Mangelik in the number 15 as he sails past Whitfield in the number 60, making it look like easy mode. Someone needs to check his difficulty slider, make sure it's all the way to the right. 2 drivers, big off course. We have Goran with not the best rejoin. Goran, please do better, especially in these conditions. These drivers already have a tough time reacting to incidents as they happen, so we need to make sure that the wet, oh my god, we have another driver off. Looks like Balatov in the number 21, a big spin puts him in the grass and he has to wait for his opportunity to get back on course as several drivers push him all the way back down that field. Jumping on board with Fino in number 11 car as the pace car pops out of existence and casts itself into the shadow realm. You can see just how wet that track is, the rooster tails going high into the sky. Cabeza Speed showing just how wet those conditions are, overshooting the corner and giving that position back to Mansarov in the number 5. Cabeza Speed immediately going back on the prowl, looking to get that position back from number 5. Mambo number 5 to be exact. Cabeza Speed tucking the nose in on the corner and gets the tail all the way out, all the way sideways and spins it around. Olsen in the number 6 doing an amazing job at passing without incident. We cut to the onboard with number 7, Thijsman, as he and Marit continue to battle it out. Thijsman with the clean pass on Marit. This battle is heating up. The rivalry is tense between these 2 drivers. You'd never know that Thijsman was actually the best man at Marit's wedding. True story. Nah, I can't back that one up, but wouldn't that make for a really cool bit of lore in the Liga Virtual IndyCar scene? Fino diving into the corner with Danny in hot pursuit as they drive deep into the swimming pool known as Road America. Goran in number 3 with a clean pass on Norwat in the number 28 car. It's refreshing to see that 2 drivers can still race so cleanly in conditions such as this. Norwat in that number 28 outbreaks himself, and Whitfield in the number 60 capitalizes. Looks like Cabeza Speed also ran a bit deep into that one. It must just be a slippery corner these drivers are struggling with. I tell you what, this is my first time covering a wet race, especially one as wet as this, and it is just so very different to see how the drivers have to adapt to not only each other, but to the changing and dynamic conditions as they go from wet spots to dry spots to puddles that are probably as deep as the tires are tall, all the while trying to drive as fast as humanly possible. The fact that they're able to stay on the track at all is just absolutely amazing and a true testament to just how good these drivers really are out there. Speaking of which, Alejandro in the number 10 going for a pass on Danny in the number 26 car. Let's see if he's able to do it. No, he is not. He has to give that position back to Danny. On board with Mangelic as he sails by Olsen in the number 6 car as if he's not even racing today, just out for a Sunday drive. Just taking in a nice rainy stint. And you, sir, are off the track. Let's get you back on the black stuff, even though it's a bit wet out there. Riding on board with what looks like to be Montserrat as he shows us what it's like to be passed by not just one, but 2 drivers. Then Goran in a number 3 showing us what it's like to not just pass one driver, but to pass a second driver as he gets greedy and it pays off. Or does it? I will never know. The director cut too soon. We need to see what happened in Act 2. Thijman with the solid pass on Alejandro in the number 10 car, passing like it's not even raining out there. We fast forward in time to Alejandro in the number 10 car, as he gets a little sideways out there, doing a little bit of grass drifting, but gets it back under control, like the professional driver that he is. We saw Olsen get a little squirrely off track. That rain really isn't anyone's friend right now. And he turns that mistake into a pit entry, which is, make it look like you meant to do that. I do that all the time as a drifter. Cutting to Goran in the number 3 car as he comes along side by side with Montserrat in the number 5, seeing who can brake first, seeing who can brake last. But unfortunately, with the conditions out there, you do not want to be the person to brake last, as Goran finds out the hard way. Mangelic also finding out that you do not want to be deep into that braking zone. These track conditions are pretty darn wet. Combining that with these downforce-driven cars means things get pretty sketchy when you have to slow way down. We fast forward in time a bit to a yellow flag condition on lap 5. Not sure what the cause of that is, but Montserrat moving a bit slowly into this bend as he pulls off to the side and lets Mangelic sail on by. Maybe I had to take a call or stop to read the current events happening in the local paper, but yeah, that was interesting to see. Yeah, something is definitely wrong. Whitfield also flying by Montserrat, and it looks like he's about to be overtaken by Cabeza's speed, and yep, there it goes. He is in the rearview mirror, so there is something definitely wrong with the number 5 car driven by Montserrat. And we have a big off by Lenz in the number 30. I think he almost went for a 920 on that one. Sir, this is not 1080 snowboarding. This is Indycar. This is a Wendy's. Just put the fries in the bag and get back to driving. Alejandro with the advantage and sailing past Thijman in the number 7 car. That number 10 car looks to be in a league of its own coming onto that backstretch. Apparently, Mangelic found a penny and decides to get it from the grass, but loses a wing and takes out a sign in the process. I don't know which one's going to cost more money, but I'm going to guess it's probably the sign, actually. Whitfield in the number 60 taking advantage of Mangelic's mistake and going for the pass. Always fun to get a free position from someone else's folly as we watch Goran in the number 3 bounce off one wall, bounce into another wall, get on the track. Lenz in the number 30 doing a fantastic job of avoiding that chaos. Thijman, who I was just praising earlier, decides to do a bit of off-roading, but makes the right decision and gets right back on the track. Let's get into that pit lane. Maybe something got kicked into your undercarriage. Marit driving one hand on the wheel, just cruising down the backstretch at a casual 245 kilometers per hour. We cut to Danny in the number 26 car as he immediately gains on the tail end of Vino in the number 11. Not sure how much of a speed difference there was, but it looked like quite a bit. Hopefully everything's okay with Fino's car as Danny continues to give chase for that first place spot. And as if Danny's car snapped him out of a trance, Fino says, actually, I'm going to pull away from you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for waking me up. And we have number 28, Norwat into the wall and off the wall, back on the track. Hopefully nobody ran into him there. Danny continuing to put pressure on Fino in the number 11 car. He goes for a move, but has to give the position back to Fino. We'll see if he tries again as we come out of this corner. Does he do it? He goes for it and can't quite make it. His car getting a bit squirrely as he gets on the throttle a bit too early. Fino takes full advantage of Danny's mistake and puts some distance between himself and the number 26 car as we cut to Thijsman going off track and into the wall. Hopefully everything's okay. It looks like the track is getting worse out there. Hopefully these drivers get a chance to get into the pit lane and check out their tire situation, because that track is an absolute mirror with water right now. Race control showing us that there is a 30-second penalty applied to Marit in the number 14 car for the incident earlier on with Lenz in the number 30 car. These drivers are known for staying cool and calm under pressure, but sometimes temperatures reach a boiling point and you make a mistake, and sometimes that mistake can cost you 30 seconds. As we fast forward a bit here and see Thijsman, Olsen, and Cabezaspeed enter into the pit lane, probably looking to change those tires, because, I mean, I would. As we cut to Danny, number 26 car, going for the pass on Marit, and he gets it. Absolutely beautiful execution of an overtake going into the S's. As we see a bit of trouble for the Molotov cocktail in the number 21 car. Yeah, he goes off track, tries to get back on, and just spins back out one more time. Maybe his tires overheated and he has to cool them down. That water is not your friend when your tires are hot. And Cabezaspeed showing a perfect example of what I mean as he Tokyo drifts into the bend. We cut forward to Whitfield in the number 60, also going off track. Not as well executed of a drift, but pretty damn good. Mangelic also finding himself facing the wrong direction, gets himself turned around and back in the race. As we jump into a whole bunch of nothing, just some beautifully executed driving as these guys skate around this race course. Whitfield in the number 60 demonstrating the perfect racing line on this wet course. You almost want to like clip that and use that as an example for other drivers to learn from. I don't know if he did that on purpose or if he can repeat it again, but we're going to see right here. No, actually he does do it again. So apparently Whitfield knows his way around a race course in these cars. I wonder if he's giving out lessons, because I would love to learn how to drive like that. I am absolutely terrible when it comes to driving downforce cars, but yeah, no, Whitfield is the person I will talk to going forward, I suppose, as we get a little bit of technical difficulty with the replay footage here. Looks like that all has cleared out, and we are back on board with Olsen in the number 6 as we follow alongside. Oh, we get a little out of sorts, and we are in the wall hard. That is the end of your day, sir. Your wheel's not supposed to come off like that. And we cut to Phoenix in the number 2 car, also tapping the wall, but did not lose the wheel, which is good. Lenz in the number 30, around and around and around, but facing the right direction at the end of it. Avoids the walls, avoids contact with anything but some grass. Your ego's a bit bruised, but your car's in good shape, so let's get you back on the racetrack. Norwad also going around in that number 28 car. Supreme driving skill keeping him away from everything, as Mangelic in the number 15 car makes it safely by. Marit coming up behind Cabezaspeed, catching a little bit of dirty air. You can tell as he tries to control the turbulence with the steering wheel. And as soon as Marit straightens out, he is on the attack, going for the pass on Cabezaspeed, making the pass happen, as if Cabezaspeed isn't even part of the same race. Is this a multi-class race? I don't think so. But Marit sure does, as he shows Cabezaspeed what actual speed looks like. Sorry, I had to mute the microphone there for that one, because, oh man, sometimes I just say random words and I don't realize how funny they are or not until I actually hear them play back in my head, and that was pretty funny. All love and respect to Cabezaspeed. You know I love you, bro. Just, you got passed. And I tell you what, with that said, Cabezaspeed has not lost sight of Marit in that number 14 car. Cabeza at number 9 giving chase. Marit putting a little bit of distance in this bend, but looks like Cabezaspeed is able to catch the toe and reel him back in ever so slowly. We might see another pass here, ladies and gentlemen. And this course right now looks like an absolute ice rink. I am not sure how these drivers are managing to stay on track as often as they are. I would be in the bleachers. I'd be a lot like you, Lenz, just spinning it around and seeing exactly what can happen there as he backs into the wall. I think he actually threw the car in reverse to try to make it around that next bend. On lap 17 now, we're going to give a moment of silence for Olsen in the number 6 car, Phoenix in the number 2, Molotov Cocktail in the number 21, and Goran in number 3 as they are out for the count. Monserov in the number 5 taking advantage of yet another spin from Lenz. Lenz showing us a definition of down but not out as he continues on in the race. Cabezaspeed getting a bit out of sorts, but pulling it back together to get back in the race as well. Following along with Fino in the number 11 car, we see him glide into the bend and get, slightly out of sorts. No, big out of sorts as he slides into the kitty litter and stops right before the tire wall, demonstrating perfectly why they put that sand trap there, hopefully slowing down the car enough to avoid a major catastrophe in the tire wall. Montserrat in the number 5 doing a fantastic job of avoiding contact with Fino as he gets back on track. Again, these drivers have insane levels of reflex. Fast forwarding onto lap 20. We see Marit in the number 14 get all the way sideways, all the way around, and whipping it back. It sure is nice when the only person involved in the accident is you. On to lap 21 now. We see Whitfield in the number 60 as he gets a blue flag, letting him know that Danny is right behind him and going for the overtake. Danny makes it by safely as we watch what has to be the slowest pit exit I've ever seen in my entire life. I think grass is growing in the time it's taking him to leave the pit lane. So let's cut to Danny in the number 26 and see how he's doing as he pulls up on Fino and gives some serious chase. They blow by a driver that I can only imagine was Lenz, but I couldn't even tell. It was just a red and white blur. They passed him so quickly. As the hunt is on with less than half a second separating the two drivers, Danny is well within the toe of Fino. Let's see how this plays out. Danny closing the gap significantly on Fino and goes for the pass, but is he going to be able to do it before the braking zone? Is he going to be able to make it safely around him? No, he is in the kitty litter. He got a little bit zealous there and outbraked himself. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave all that in. I'm not going to edit that out. That does go to show, however, that even with the immense skill seen in this driver lineup, drivers do still succumb to track environmental conditions. The trackside camera showing us just how nasty it is out there. The rain doing the opposite of letting up like we thought it would. The weather radar actually showed that the track would be clearing out by now, but I guess not. Nature's gonna do what nature wants to do. And right now, Mama Nature's giving us all of her wetness. But who can blame her when you've got all of this hot action happening, all of this guy on guy into every single bend? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave that one in as well. I'm not editing that out. I'll see if Danny wants to edit that one out, but I'm not going to. Fino heading into the pits for what appears to be a pit lane speed violation. Turtle exit from the pits, this time by Fino. So when you see that kind of talent taking its time leaving the pits, you know it is treacherous out there. As we cut to Marit spinning around and backing in to the wall, just barely avoiding contact with it. The driving skill is obscenely high as it looks like number 15 Mangelic whipping it around and backing into the kitty litter almost. Let's get you back on track and back in the right way, sir. Lap number 25 now. 3 laps to go in this amazing race for the championship. I mean, what more could you ask for in a serendipitous race for the title? I mean, just absolutely abhorrent racing conditions with crazy talent out there showing us exactly how to get things done as these drivers do not back down an inch. We jump forward to the penultimate lap, lap number 27. This is where you will see each driver fully locked in, fully engaged, ready to see just how high they can place in this last race. No sooner do I say that than Cabeza Speed in the number 9 outbrakes himself into the kitty litter. We've seen a lot of drivers go off there. That just has to be a really tricky corner in these conditions. Not even sure what Cabeza Speed was going for there. He's not in the race with Danny. Danny is what looks to be almost a full lap ahead of him, so I'm not sure why he was even pushing that hard into that corner. Cutting to the final lap of the race, we see Danny gaining quickly on the tail of Mangelic. In this instance, ladies and gentlemen, Mangelic is the slower driver, so should be giving way to Danny. Mangelic, this is not your race. You need to move over and let Danny by. I am sure the stewards will be judging this harshly as Mangelic refuses to give the blue flag pass to Danny. Mangelic, seriously, you need to move out of the way. Let Danny by. This is not your race, and I am sure Danny is very frustrated right now as he is trying to find a spot to pass. Fino capitalizing on the moment and closing that gap down to what looks like under 2 seconds. No, under 1 second now. Fino has closed the gap completely and is now in hot pursuit of Danny. Danny in that number 26 car showing his frustration, getting on the throttle a bit early and showing just how squirrely these cars can get in the rain. Fino once again capitalizing on this moment and closing the gap even more, going for the overtake into the final corner right before the backstretch. Let's see who wins this one, ladies and gentlemen, as they duke it out, going for that backstretch pass. Let's see how this plays out. Side side by side, 600ths of a second dividing the two. Danny gets back in front, and Danny take the win. Danny takes the win, ladies and gentlemen. Number 26, Danny takes the win, followed by what has to be a very excited Fino in the number 11 car, with Alejandro in the number 10 car, bringing up third place, rounding out the podium, more than 10 seconds behind second place. And I don't know about you, dear viewer, but I know I was on the absolute edge of my seat if I were actually sitting down and not standing in a sound booth. I mean, seriously, what an absolute banger of a race to go out on. These drivers showing us exactly what they're made of. Congratulations to every single driver out there, and we hope to see you all in the next race in the next season.